Alrighty, folks. One of these videos I wanted to make for a while, but I'm still not too sure how to word all this and keep it all in a simple enough format that home users can kind of understand. But this is about email and email security. I keep seeing all the same stuff on the news about how you have all these scams, frauds, all these type of things going on. Really, email is probably, I would consider it one of the worst technology inventions there are to do with the computer. Because it can be used for good, but it's used so much for bad. They've learned how to implement things and use it in such negative ways that really it's turned email not into a good thing. I mean, look at all the junk mail you used to get in the postal box. Now look at your email. You're getting probably 5 or 10 times more junk in email than you would get in your mail. Not to mention, there's so much fraud and scams and malware and other things that can affect you and your systems. Knowing not to follow links in emails. This is one of the big things that a lot of people are still doing. But like if you get an email from your water company saying you're past due, you owe us $300, click this link to make a payment today. How do you usually pay your water bill? Probably, I don't know, 80%, maybe, or more, are probably all doing it on the internet. Or you look on there to check your accounts, or you have some other means. If you already have the shortcut, or the link, or the way to look at your bill, or even to call them, if you call them and you call them to put your payment in, or you send them a check, but you have the bill to call them, I recommend you call them than ever click on that link. Because you don't know where that link actually goes. And they've gotten really good at cloning or spoofing other businesses' sites so you think it's actually their site. And the only way you can actually tell is if you go in there and you start clicking links like, oh, contact me, and, contact me, and then I want to contact you by email, and then it comes up with some weird funky email or something that these scammers are using. There's some of them that are really, really good. There's a lot of these shopping sites out right now, especially through Facebook and other places. Oh, go on here and buy this great product. Last year, there was one that, these Christmas lights I wanted, where they light, like the icicle and the light goes down on them. I went, I don't know, this looks fake, this looks scammy. I looked it up, and it said it's a toy store in New York. They're using a toy store address. And I figured, with the pandemic and all of that, I could see that. It's a toy store. Maybe he sells the lights. Maybe he's trying to make money on the side. And, I'll try looking at this. And I saw the site had a couple little typos and had a couple little things. But, little business, yeah, he's trying to make money on the side, maybe. It was PayPal only. Well, that is interesting. They take no Visa, they make no MasterCard, they don't take anything. So I figured, it's PayPal. PayPal protections. So I put the order in. Well, it was just a big scam and a big joke, and the email was some lady or someone that was really nasty, and hey, how can you email me, and you just put the order in and all this stuff, and I'm going to block you. Okay. Turned around, opened up a dispute. Of course, I got my money back because it's through PayPal. But there's a lot of other people that are getting ripped off because they're clicking on these links and they're putting in credit card information and they're trying to purchase stuff. And of course, you're never going to get that product. Or they're going to send you something else, or they're going to send you some bogus tracking number or something else so that you have a hard time fighting it. Or they just steal your information and steal your credit card and max out your credit card. So, don't take any of those links. If you don't know who the email's from, the best bet is to delete it. I see on the news every year, it's been going on since October, with all the scams, all the things going on, help so-and-so and help COVID relief and help this and help that. And, most of it's all scams. All these people are clicking on these links thinking it's legitimate things. Get emails, get stuff on Facebook. Oh, go and buy this laptop for $69, $99. So I'm curious and I go and browse their site and it says it's Macy's. So I was really curious. So I'm looking around. I'm like, this ain't even close to Macy's. Guess what? I wanted to see if it was really Macy's. I got on Macy's website, got on their chat, and said, hey, by the way, is this site part of your company? Sent them the link. Guess who's being investigated by Macy's? They're not part of their company. But they're using their logo, their images, all of their stuff from Macy's. Their fonts, everything. That's all trademark. That's trademark infringement. There's a lot of laws against that type of stuff. So, these people are actually getting really good at trying to hide who they actually are. They're breaking a lot of laws doing this stuff. Just to try to trick you into paying money and giving them your credit card and getting them your information. So, there's a lot of bad things about that. Is you give them that information, they might use it in a negative way. They might also be just phishing, is the term. Is where they go out and they send out emails and they see what information you send back, so they get your address, your name, and all these other things so they can sell it to other people. Sell it on the black market. Sell it to whoever they want. And there's nothing you can do about it. So, this is why I'm making this video. To make sure that you're aware of what could possibly go on. This is all through email. You just open up your email. And so there's something there. Oh, hey, you need to update your virus scan. Click here and you click it and you go, oh, okay. And you go through. Could be any company. I get probably 5 to 10 a week. eBay. Your account's locked. There's suspicious activity. There's all these weird things they send you. And they're from some funky email address that's 50 characters long at XYZ or Asia.com or, some weird extension. Email-wise, you always want to check your extension. You want to see who's actually sending you that email. Just because it looks like Macy's and it says from Macy's, but you want to see after that where that actual email is coming from. You want to look at all that header to find out where that's coming from. If you get really advanced into technology, you can open up that full header and get IP addresses that email went through. And you can search that IP address. And it'll tell you it's in China, it's in Africa, it's in wherever. It'll tell you where it came from. So if they're claiming they're in New York and their email came out of Africa or China or Israel, okay, they're not coming from the same place. These are all warning signs that you can look at. But my recommendation is you never take any links that someone sends you an email. Unless you're dealing with like a vendor or one of your friends that says, hey, I see this thing and it's at Macy's.com and I'm going to send you the link so that you can go in there and purchase it or whatever you want. And you know that link's coming. You know someone's sending you this. You know, there's emails that come through about eDocs. If anybody knows what an eDoc is, it's a document signature. It's an online electronic document that you're signing for. Why in the world would you ever want to open that unless you know it's coming? It's like me handing you a contract with the signature form up front saying, sign this, thank you, and walking away without even reading what's underneath. You might actually open that up. It might actually go to a legitimate site, and you might actually sign a contract. What did you sign? You could have signed away your car, your house, your boat, your retirement fund. You could sign away anything. Making sure you know where those links go, what's going on, how is it going on, and why are the importance. Because that's the last thing I want to hear is, oh man, what happened? Well, you know, I got an email and I clicked on this, and again, why? I hear about this a lot. I've been hearing about this for 20 plus years and I still shake my head at it. I don't understand it. There's some that are just completely kind of blatant and obvious that I always get shocked with. Most businesses have an internet policy. Most businesses have an email policy. And I get emails saying, or getting phone calls from certain vendors and certain people. Hey, don't open our email for a while. Delete everything for a while. And I kind of giggle and I go, why? What happened? Oh, you know, I'm not really at liberty to say. What did they open that they shouldn't have? And they giggle and they laugh. And most of the time it's near Valentine's Day, or it's near somebody's anniversary or somebody else's key important date. And they opened up an email that says, I love you. I know probably a lot of people are laughing right now because probably a lot of people understand what I'm getting at. This has been floating around for 20 plus years. You're not supposed to use your business email for personal use. Do I need to elaborate really any more onto this factor? Are you having a vendor or a merchant or someone that you owe bills sending you a email stating I love you? So now you're using that email for personal use. I know almost every CEO and business person and anybody in a business uses the email for personal use. Because it's obvious, because I get these emails and calls. Don't open our email for a while because someone opened up an email that had the I love you virus that infected their network, that sent out all the people in their entire directory the same I love you virus. I started laughing when the last time I got that call. And I said, do you really think I'm going to open an email from you stating, "I love you." She kind of giggled and laughed. I said, "Yeah, but I just had to notify you just in case." "Okay, thanks for the notification." But 20 years later, this is still going on. And I'm hearing it on the news all the time about people open these emails, people do this. Now you have ransomware. A lot of systems and a lot of things are getting affected from ransomware because people are opening things that they shouldn't be opening. And I'm surprised. I will admit, I've clicked on an email or two that I knew I shouldn't have. And as soon as I did, I went, "Ah, crap." And I've had to go through and disinfect and clean my whole system because it was instinctive. I clicked on it and, what did I do that for? And instantly, my stuff in my computer told me bang, 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 bang. Before I can even stop what I did. So I know other people are out there doing it. I mean, but I had the equipment, I had the software to take care of it. If you're a home user, you might not realize what even happened. Some business users might not even realize what happened. And of course, if you get into a purchasing, receiving, any kind of bill pays, there's so many of them like UPS, FedEx, US Postal. Here's your tracking number. Your product's been shipped. And you click on it and you open it up thinking this is from a company that you order from. Because there's just so much out there that you're going to have these things come into play in a business or home. Especially if you're a smaller business, you might not understand this. You might not realize this. You might have a bookkeeper or someone else that's doing your bookkeeping and doing some other stuff, and she's checking your orders to make sure that they match and this and that. And that email comes in. She opens it up and goes, "Huh, what is this weird stuff?" and closes it out. And then, "Oh, this ain't a good email," and deletes it out. You have to treat your system. So there's a lot of videos I have about making sure you're safe and what's protected. So, but this is about the email that actually caused that problem. And I thought I really need to educate people on this because I don't hear about this anymore. I hear a lot about, don't open things from this and be careful what you open. But a lot of people, I don't think, are really educating people and telling people about this anymore. I think it's almost like everybody should have known by now. So, well. I don't believe so. You always have the next generation, the next generation, the next generation, and the next generation. And by that, I'm not only talking you, your grandparents, your kids, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, your great-grandkids, not only those generations, but everything else. How the original virus, you have the next generation of that, and the next generation of that, and how they implement it, how they put it out there. If you have a lot of spam email, and you have a spam filter device, or you have like Yahoo Mail where it goes into a separate folder and it doesn't show you the pictures because now they embed stuff in that picture file. So even though you open that email and you don't take a link, you could still get infected by the picture that's attached to the email. So there's a lot of things that have changed over the years, and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. I don't know of it getting any better. I don't really know how email has gotten really too much better since I first started using it. It's just a lot more warnings and warnings and warnings. Be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful. To a point where I needed to address this because it's almost as bad as some of the security videos that I've done where someone puts a server in a front office, has your receptionist or somebody using your server as a workstation because you don't want to use a server and a workstation. There's reasons why you want to have those separate. Covered most of those in those videos I already have. So this one is really about your email, about your best practice, about your safety, about making sure you have what you need to have, your virus scan, your malware detection, your firewall, all of these things in your system, because you're going to make a mistake. You're going to open something, you're going to look at something, something's going to happen, you're going to get infected, you're going to take it to a computer shop, you're going to pay a lot of money to get it fixed. Or worse things worse, you end up wiping it all completely clear and doing a factory reinstall, losing most of your data, and what happens? One of the things I believe I mentioned before, recoveries, where you roll back to a certain date. If you read that real carefully, it tells you will not affect your personal files. So if your computer gets infected and you roll back, those files are still there in your system. Once you reopen that or reactivate that somehow, or if it's still running in the background, it'll repopulate back into what you have. So this is why I wanted to bring up the video on email. There are so many negative things. All I can really tell you is do your homework, do your research, because for me to get into it all, it's huge. There's a lot of negative about email. So I wanted to put out this warning and a precaution and to make sure everybody's aware. My best practice and my recommendation for everybody would be is if you get an email, don't take that link, especially if you know it's your power company and you log in through a certain thing. If it's your phone company and you log in a certain way, you already have all that information. Go to that link you have to go into your account. Don't go by the way the email tells you. And then if you find out, oh crap, I forgot to pay, something went wrong, maybe there was an error between that and the bank and the transaction didn't go through, go back and read that email. Find out what they're telling you to do. If they tell you go onto our portal, make a payment, give us a call, do that. But I still don't recommend that link. Go to where you usually do. Make your payment. Make sure your payment goes through. Do all of those things. Because I hear it a lot. Oh man, I thought it was, so I clicked on, whoa, you clicked on that link. Why? Well, because it was open and no, just close that out. Go to what you usually do and check. A lot of it nowadays is everybody wants to get done so fast. Oh, I gotta do it quick. Gotta do this. Gotta do that. Gotta do this. No. That's where you get caught. You're trying to speed and take shortcuts. That's where they're going to get you. You get the email from Macy's, Lowe's, whatever it is. Oh, you missed your payment. Power, we're going to shut your electricity off on this date if you don't pay. Go to their site and look. Don't believe that. Especially if you're looking on a phone. I know a lot of people are using their phones for their email. Phones do not really give you all the information of where that email is coming from. You'll have to find out how to get that to show on your phone to see the full email address of where it's coming from. A lot of times if there's a link, you can highlight over that link on a computer. It'll tell you where it's taking you to, what the website name is, and all of that. But I don't recommend it. You're going to be hopefully you'll be at a computer and you're not only using your cell phone for everything. If you are, it's still the same advice. Close your email, go to your browser, pull up your shortcut for whatever that business is, log into that business, find out, do you owe, do you not owe, or whatever it is. Also, if you get a bunch of them, report them to the business. Let them know what's going on. Like that Macy's thing. I looked at that, I'm like, this is a total ripoff of their site. Especially when you get down to the very bottom where the trademark is. It tells you it's trademark 2021 by this certain business. But they're claiming to be Macy's. They have the Macy's logo, all the Macy's stuff on there. Everything. It was funny, when I finally get to their product page and I start looking, I click on it and I go to another product page and I see a JCPenney's logo. Looks all like JCPenney's. Click on another product and it was, what was it? It was another company with their company logo. I'm like, there's a lot of red flags there. But I knew how to search through the web page. How to get from one place and back through and into another place to see what products they had. I'm like, this is a total deceptive company. How many other people are getting ripped off? Because here I'm thinking, oh, it's just this one product someone's trying to pull a fast one on. There was 18 products on there. With different company names. I think one of them was Best Buy. I'm like, there's so many frauds on here. So, you being a home user or a small business user, you might find, oh look, they have this laptop for $89 and you buy it. They were showing a little portable handicap scooter that had a button in it, would fold all up by battery. $99. That one was under Macy's name. The laptop was under Best Buy's name. So if you would have bought that laptop and then later on you're looking around, you find that little scooter, oh man, that'd be great for so-and-so, and you ordered it, guess what? You got ripped off twice by the same company. That's 2 items by one company that just got you. So be careful with these emails. Be careful of what they look like. Really look at them. Read them closely. Look to see if there's any grammar or spelling errors. Look to see if they're claiming to be Macy's and then you get down to the bottom and then there's a trademark or an email for Bob at Whitewater. Okay, why would Bob at Whitewater be working for Macy's? These are just little tips that you got to look at. My recommendation again, don't open those links. Delete them. If you're not expecting that email, delete it. There's so much junk, so much spam, so much garbage that comes in, you can't trust email anymore. Unfortunately, that's what it's gotten down to, is you cannot trust email. You know, this was supposed to be the future. This was supposed to be the new cutting edge. This is supposed to be the new technology. It's all gone downhill. I gotta say it. unfortunately, it's gotten worse. It didn't get better. It got worse. So that's what I got to say is safety, security-wise, of email. I know I've got into the logins and the positions and where things are located, but really, that doesn't do you any good if you're not following these practices. Because you can infect everything, you can do a lot of damage, people can get in there and hack your system, people can steal your data, crash your computer, wipe it clean. You don't know. And that leads back to making sure you have backups and having enough backups and proper backups. Having a backup strategy. Having a recovery strategy in case something does happen. Recovery strategy is due to your backup strategy. How many times do you back up a month and how many times do you keep those backups? These are important because of email, especially ransomware. I'm sure you've heard of it in the news. You had the pipeline. What else did you have? You had the power energy companies. You had something out, the store or whatever it was. We were hearing about schools years ago. There's a lot of things going on. You don't want to be one of those. You don't want to be the next one on the list. Especially if you're a home user. What do you do if someone ransomwares you? Who are you going to call? So you want to make sure you take these precautions. You want to make sure you have these safety things. You want to make sure that you just don't open these emails anymore. Sorry to say, but you got to get away from the email. Almost want to say, go back to the old-fashioned way with the pens and papers and mail it in the postal service. Except for where you live, where I am, the mail doesn't go to the right places. So, it's hard for me to even recommend that. I have to report them all the time for not doing their job. So, it's kind of, we're in a tough spot right now. Especially with all this stuff going on. So, just wanted to bring this to light. Make sure everybody's aware that, be careful. Be careful what you're doing. Pay attention before you act. And really realize and think about, do I need to even open this? Do I need this? Should I even pay attention to this? Okay, yeah, you get something that says, oh, you need to take action on it. Go do your research, do your homework. Make sure you know what the company is, what they're talking about, and make sure that this is an email you should be getting or not getting. Because the worst thing you want to do is get cheated and frauded. What if that's actually a legitimate company that, say, an electric company. You're past due, you got your shut-off notice of, let's say, $80. $80 ain't that big of a deal. You click that link and it says, please put in your credit card, and you do this and you do that, and you pay it, and it goes to the electric company, actual electric company, but it's not your account. It went to Mark Smith in New York. Electric bill. This email went out to thousands of people. Thousands of people paid the $80. Went into his electrical bill company. Went to his account. Everybody paid this guy's electrical bill. You go and look on your account and go, wait, I made a payment of $80 and it didn't go into my account. Then you got to get a hold of the company and you got to go through all of this stuff to figure out where that payment actually went. Dispute that payment. Do all of that type of stuff. And then if they go, well, you chose to pay it, you choose to donate, you chose to do this, you signed this e-contract, you clicked on it. So these are some of the factors that, there's a lot of things that go on out there now that didn't go on in the old days. And a lot of people, they get taken and oh, what do I do? Oh, I'll just make sure I don't do that the next time. So a lot of people are making a lot of money because even if it was pay $20, I don't know if anybody would really go through all the hassle of fighting it and arguing over $20. But you might think, well, it's only $20. But if he did that $20 1,000 times to 1,000 different people, that's a lot of money that person got. That's why these scams and these things go on. So, it could be as simple as $1. If I can get 10,000 people to send me $1, that's a lot of money. How many people are in the world? If I can get half the people in the world to send me $2 or $1, sell for 50 cents. You'll have to do your homework on the exact count, but I don't think I'd be hurting anymore. These are the little factors I want to bring up. So really be careful. Really, really be careful with your email. Because it's quite amazing the little things that people will do. Even like I said, 50 cents, $1. You might think, oh, that's not a big deal, and blah, 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 blah. But you got to realize they have your information, they have your credit card, they have all that stuff that they got that dollar off of too. So there's so many issues now coming from that email that you clicked on that link and certain things happen. So I wanted to specify that in this video. Not to mention ransomware, viruses, what else is there? Phishing. Phishing is basically collecting your data, but basically they can do that with all the other items. There's a lot of things. You can actually get malicious software installed, keystrokers, and all these other things that will capture everything you're doing on that computer. So these are some of the things I wanted to really bring up because I don't really hear anybody talking about this anymore. And things have gotten vicious is the only word I can really come up with. I can't even call it evil or bad. I mean, they've gotten so vicious that, taking down oil companies and taking down other things to try to make money that, it's all about making money it's just email. You turn email into a negative, bad thing. And nobody is saying this anymore. Everybody's using it. It's so widespread and so modernized, but I have to make a video to remind people that all the negative that comes along with it. And unfortunately, I think there's a lot more negative than there is positive that comes with it. So, you can have an email account. Someone can take over all your email, take over everything, send out emails. Someone can spoof your email, send out an email with your name, looking like your email. Someone could respond to it. There's a lot of things. It's almost like cell phones nowadays. Cell phones used to be great. They're turning more into email. People are spoofing numbers, doing weird telemarketing calls. you can actually get a call on your phone with your number that someone spoofed trying to sell you Viagra. They're calling your own number from your number. So I really wanted to bring that up because this is what's going on. And I know they talk about it on the news and they talk about it in a few places, but nobody really hammers down onto this because this has turned into a point where there's a lot of bad. A lot of bad. Business wise, especially if you're in a business or a small business. This is something that really can affect you a big time because now you really need to look at what's coming in. Where before, you used to start your business, you start your email, and you're pretty much okay. Nowadays, you can open up an email account and probably get spam mail within 30 minutes. Somehow or another, they get all that information, you send it out, and then all of a sudden, all this junk starts coming in. And you're like, wow. I'm like, I opened up a different email through a different company. Literally within an hour, I got 2 spam emails. And I never sent anything out. It was just opened so I would have a secondary email in case I had a problem with my primary. And it was a different company than who I have my primary through. And I was shocked. Like, how? I'm like, okay. But this is where it gets into that bad point. A lot of bad points. So I have to bring it up. I have to address it. I have to put it out there because it's not fair for everybody else not to know what's going on. So I think I'm going to wrap this one up because I went on way too long again. But I wanted to cover enough detail and enough explanations so that people understand it. Go online, do your homework, do your research so you understand these things I brought up. So that you can actually see videos and see like what the link is and what an email address and what the full extension is. They'll explain these things. I don't know if I'll go into all those details. I just wanted to go into it and make sure people are aware of these things. It is up to you to do your homework. It is up to you to do your research. I can't hand you every piece of information. I can inform you and let you know on this because I can go through and tell you everything in the world that's going on right now. In 2 weeks, it might be something completely different. They figured out another way to get this into you. They got another way to do this, and they got another way to do that. It's such a process of next generation. But where we're at, things are so bad. As soon as there's an earthquake, as soon as there's a tsunami, as soon as there's anything, you'll hear reports on the news about all these fake organizations and all these fake emails and all this fake stuff that comes out. So it's not something that is not told, but it's not something that's elaborated enough for people to understand what is truly going on. Okay, you might know there's fake emails about COVID relief. They want to buy vaccines for Africa. You understand that? Okay, there's a lot of that going on. But you might not understand it might be for every country that they're sending out these same things. For China, for Israel, for this, for that, for this, for that. But the only thing they're seeing right now is the ones for Africa. So I wanted to bring that up to really allow people to really look at what they're getting. Just because it has to do with Africa doesn't mean the other ones are good. Like I brought up that website. Go on there, it has Macy's on there, and I go look around and find other products, and I see a Best Buy logo. They're doing multiple things all at the same time. That's why I brought that example up. Email's all the same. All those PayPal, your account's locked suspended, Amazon, your account's locked suspended, all these things, I'm sure are all coming from the same place. I can probably go through my email headers and find the IP addresses and find out where they're coming from, but what's the point? Throw them into the spam filter, notify companies you're being frauded, and I move on. But there's the problem. I notified the companies and I spam blocked them. Do you know? Here's your video. You know. This is me notifying everybody else out there. Alrighty, I'm going to wrap it up since I went on way too long again on another video. But I thought it was important. Wanted to make sure I put it in a context or wording that most people will understand. If you don't, please rewatch this a couple times. Go do some research, homework. Look into it more. Because this is really one of the high security points is your email, your Wi-Fi, your internet access. Next one I'm going to do has somewhat to do with internet access, has to do with all this smart home stuff, little security issues. But this issue that I'm talking about now is part of that issue. This will actually cause a lot more issues for you. And because you have smart homes and you have certain ports open and you have certain things open, because you open up an email that is infected, it'll use all of that. So that is why these email issues have gotten so major. So I better wrap that up now that I did that, because now I probably got everybody confused with that last little bit. But that video will probably be coming here in the next week or so. I have to figure out more of the wording on how I want to say it, because I need to keep it simple enough without getting too complex, without going into left field, right field, trying to explain things. Alrighty, thank you.